Hello, fellow achievers. Welcome to another edition where we bring you sessions to be able to help your career, help you in your business, help you in your journey as entrepreneurs. So today we are going to be having another exciting session, and this is going to be on vision, on how can you stay consistent if you're building a business, a career. How do you stay consistent with the vision that you're working on? My guest today is a special guest, and I want you to look forward to this exciting session. If you're joining us for this particular session today, drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. Share this broadcast to people that are in your community, your friends, your Facebook friends, so that they can join us here and get this transformation today. So today, my guest is somebody who is so special, and you're definitely going to learn a lot. My guest today is Dr. Robert Cabo. Dr. Robert Cabo is a key leader when it comes to the field of scientific medicine in the United States of America. And today he's going to be sharing with you how do you stay consistent in your vision when it comes to whatever thing you're working on, maybe a career, a business, or a family you're building. Dr. Robert, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Jarvis, and really very happy to be here and also excited to speak with your viewers.
Thank you, sir. So every week we have sessions like this where we bring uh, great leaders to be able to share with fellow achievers how they've been able to achieve a level of success, make significant progress in their different fields of life. And today, our viewers out there are so excited to have you share with them how do they have accurate visions in terms of their business, their careers, and whatever they are building. So, to our viewers out there who will be eager to know more, the first question for today is going to be, who is Dr. Robert Cabo?
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting question. I'm just going to probably answer it in a couple of ways. First, I'm going to just answer based on my career in my scientific field, and also going to answer based on, who I am and how I've interacted with my community and also the community of business, owners. So I've spent over 2 decades in R&D research and have expertise in medicinal chemistry, analytical scientists, analytical chemistry, process scientists, and also in chemical and drug development. I have global CMC expertise in looking at various complex drug development and also looking at various approval through the regulatory pathways. I've also had worked with a number of indications that have seen FDA approvals, epilepsy drugs that have, some of them are in the market, postpartum depression, pain relief. So I have a wide range of expertise and interactions with key leaders in the field that have done drug development and medicinal chemistry. I've written some books. My latest book was in 2021 and is on Amazon. And that really speaks to the act of becoming an individual that is able to build a team within a very few hours. I know it seems to be like as if I was giving an indication that is something that is easy. No, it's because there are techniques, there are ways we can turn things that are considered impossible and turn it to things that are doable, things that are functional. And also, I have worked with entrepreneurs that are looking for leadership skills and directions, and people that are looking for vision, and not only in their own personal life, but also in their their business and community. And I think that has been one of the biggest stumbling block to a lot of businesses. They start, but they're not able to sustain their business and not even able to have a defined vision. So that they are not really able to sustain it and are going from one vision to the other without having traction as to what it is that is even a vision. They don't even have the correct or proper definition of that.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. This is so inspiring. working with key leaders across different fields, and just talking about the aspect of vision actually a key focus of today, looking at how do people stay consistent in their vision. When I made out a post for this particular session, I actually began with something like a story. I said Musa started a clothing business last month. 2 weeks ago, he started selling electronic gadgets, and right now Musa is thinking of starting food business. And somebody reached out to me and said, like, this is so funny. And but you said this is true. A lot of people actually face this, and sometimes I've actually been through this particular process. And this is why I think this conversation today is so important, because there are a lot of people that are just not consistent. They find it hard to really figure out what to do in life and stay consistent with it. And that brings us to the next question. What exactly is vision, and why is it so significant to us today?
That's an excellent question. And the example you gave about, Musa wanting to start a business seems to look like it's very funny. But in that example, has a treasure of knowledge and understanding. It looks so simple, but you could start from there with a vision and become a millionaire if you are able to hold on to vision. A lot of people just think vision is just a single phrase, but vision, any vision has to have like three components in it. A vision must give you direction. That's number one. Very important in life. There are so many
Wow.
directions we could go. So if that individual starting a bread business, if that's the direction in his or her mind, that's the direction that the mind is leading, and have that clarity, is so important to stay focused on that direction. So that's number one. The second thing, vision must need to have. A vision must need to inspire. So a lot of people take vision from external, sources, external individuals, but a lot of the time it's not in line with their own mind, is not in line with their own motivation, is not what keeps them late at night,
Wow.
is not what motivates them, because they are getting their vision from others. Let something that inspire, ignite that passion and light inside, and is in every human being on the planet. We can have that. We can have that inspiration. We just need to align it properly. And the third element vision needs to have, vision needs to be very clear. It has a clear focus. If that bread, that's what, baking of that bread, that's what that vision is. If it has a clear focus, if it has inspiration, if it has a direction, you could start it and put all your energy doing it day in and day night. And you know what may happen? You might find someone who may need an expertise in that arena. You could be hired, and to supply a
Wow.
whole company or to supply a whole organization. So you start from something small and it can quickly ignite to something big. Each one of us have directions in our life that will make us succeed in whatever we do. We just need to stay focused on the right vision. We just need to focus on what it is that really inspires on a daily basis. And you ask the important question, why is it important for us to have a vision? Without a vision, what's going to happen? We will start the big bread business today, and tomorrow you see someone who is prospering in doing book selling. And because that person is prospering in book selling
Wow.
today, we may, abandon our vision and begin to do book selling, but we are not inspired to do it. And if we had stayed in that doing that bread business, we could have succeeded. But jumping from one vision to the other really doesn't align with our natural values as to who we are, because we may not be motivated. We're just going from one thing to the other. So it's really very important to have clarity in our vision. It's really important for us to be really stay focused and be inspired. Um, Inspiration that comes from within is really very, very important. Yes, Japhis, do you have further question?
Okay, thank you so much. I picked out a couple of things as you just shared so inspiring. You said vision must have direction, vision must come from that place of inspiration, and the third thing is vision must have a sense of clarity. And I think that is so significant. And if you're watching this out there, you're probably already looking at what you want to do with your life. You're looking at maybe you're starting a business. So there are three questions that you need to ask yourself right now from what Dr. Robert is presenting. Is there a sense of direction to this thing? Where am I taking this thing to? And is this something I just saw somebody doing this stuff and I also just want to do it, or I have some inspiration to it? There's that inner motivation. I know how to work it out, and clarity, which I think is so significant. Dr. Robert, talking about vision and how one can start with something so small, like you mentioned, and this thing actually becomes so great. I was reading your story in one of the books you've written with other coaches, which we are going to mention within this particular session. And you said something so profound that touched me. You said when you first got to the United States of America, you had to see how to start getting used computers and sending them back home to less privileged Africans that were home at that time. And I just saw how powerful that is. And I just want you to make a comment on that, because sometimes we just feel like this thing may be so little, this thing may not help anybody, but the impact of it can become overwhelming, and which is a piece of vision. I want you to just make a comment on that and just maybe highlight again on that story, because I definitely believe just the same way I was motivated, somebody out there is going to be inspired to.
Absolutely. And it's not only computers. In fact, if you look at the statistics of things that are wasted in the United States or even in the modern world, there is so much of it.
Wow.
Soap, toiletries, computers, hard wires. And the difficulty is we don't have people that have the vision enough to say, okay, these things may not be useful here, but if I'm able to ship them back home to Africa where people might make use of this, just think about it, how much help that will bring to many people. And so
Wow.
just looking for the opportunity any time where we are. So it wasn't something that was advertised. I saw a company refurbishing their computers, and so they were getting rid of it. And then the thought came to my mind, wow, you are getting rid of these computers. What I can just do is just to ask them to refurbish it and
Wow.
provide it to me. And then from there, I found a way to send it back home. It was such an inspiring, thing for many when they received those computers. And it is something that if we are constantly thinking about opportunities wherein we can harness what we have and then provide it to others that need it, it's such a humanitarian thing that we can constantly do. So there are many things around that we can be able to harness and bring to others who are in need of them. Jarvis, are you still on? It seems you might have um, lost connection. And I may probably just continue to respond to maybe your previous question that you had also asked. One of the elements that we talked about was why people struggle to maintain their vision. So they may have had very inspiring vision. They may have a vision that have clarity, a vision that has a direction, a vision that have focus, but sometimes it's hard for them to maintain their vision. What could they do? What can an entrepreneur do to really maintain his or a vision? So I have probably 5 elements that I think might be helpful for people in order for them to maintain, the vision that they may have had and they are working on. It's also important. Number one is very, very important to ensure that you regularly remind yourself of the vision. It's very easy for a vision to get, lost amidst all of the difficulties, amidst all of the trials, amidst all of the, challenges that life brings every now and then, which some of it may have nothing to do with even us. We are just we just find ourselves in unfortunate situations. So our visions can get blurred, our vision can get missing in those scenarios. But find ways and means to constantly remind ourselves with what our vision is really important. Because if not, we may get easily be distracted with a lot of the things that we might be facing, we might be facing, and the challenges that are coming our way. The other thing, too, I think that is really key is the ability for us to go back and revisit our core values. What are the things that are really that you're passionate about? What are the things that really inspire you from the inside? What are the things that keeps you motivated? These core values that you have are things that could direct us as to what we should be doing or what we could be doing on a daily basis. Maybe your business is failing, but you have a very clear direction and vision as to how you could get it turned around. It's important to stay focused on that and try to ensure that you're not discouraged or be distracted by other elements that may be coming your way. It's also another aspect that I think will be crucial is how we share our vision. So there are people that may inspire us, that people that may continue to encourage us in what we do. If we identify those people and share our vision, they may be able to help give us a perspective that we are not seeing, or help bring clarity in terms of difficulties, in terms of challenge. It's important that we are able to share our vision and communicate it very effectively. Another way another strategy we could have in order to stay focused on our vision is to find a way to measure and track some of the progress we are making. Without tracking our progress, it becomes really, really difficult for us to go back and look at the victories that we have. And also, it makes it difficult for us to be motivated to do more. So if you're able to set small goals and track them, and also set larger goals and also track them, because there are some goals that are just not attainable on a short-term basis. It may take a while for some of the goals to be, to come into fusion, but just finding a way for us to continue to track the little gains we are making is really very, very crucial. And talking about tracking, every day we wake up in the morning, it's a beautiful and important aspect of our lives that we have another 24 hours, to live. It's a sort of privilege, tracking that from that perspective of gratitude that you have given the opportunity to be alive. That is really, really important, because failing to recognize that sometimes brings so much disappointment. So we might look at all of the failures that we may have incurred the previous days or weeks or months without recognizing today is another special day that have been given this opportunity to live at 24 hours. Really, so the question I ask myself, what can I do within these 24 hours to keep my vision going? What can I do to ignite my vision? If a business is struggling, what can I do to reflect on why it is struggling? What can I do in order to seek for help if I have to seek for help, and not be ashamed to recognize that, yes, I could not be able to do it alone. And there are times we may also need help with our vision. And another important element is the ability for us to be flexible and adaptable. It's really important, because things are changing every now and then. Situations change. Customer base may change. Disaster may occur. But how flexible am I in order to adapt to the new environment? And obviously, we know there are a lot of competitions out there. So one may have an idea, Many other people may also have similar ideas. So the question is, how can I stay competitive? How can I stay above the competition, at the same time not be consumed by the constant rivalry that people may find themselves caught in, and their vision gets distracted because they're just looking at, overcoming what others are doing without them not looking and asking within themselves, how can I compete with myself and make myself better and make my business better? And how could I use that motivation to keep my business going? So it's really, really important that where we come up with strategy as to how we could maintain the vision. You also may have talked about or hinted on how effective we could communicate short a vision in our life. It's really crucial that we are able to effectively communicate our vision in multiple ways. So as an entrepreneur, you may have a group of people that you're working with. It's not easy to all the time communicate effectively. We have to understand where the people you are communicating to, where they are. You may have to really meet them at their state of mind. If someone is going through distress, that will not be a good time for me to come in and explain a vision, or what they are looking for is a direction or help. So understanding the timing of when I communicate a vision, and also find multiple ways to communicate the vision. A lot of the time, our actions, as is often said, speak louder than words. If we are waiting only when people have difficulties, that's when we may want to help and assist. I think we are missing a lot of opportunities, because sometimes by the time it gets to a situation where people need help, sometimes it may not be salvage. It might be a situation we are able to salvage. And so just keeping focus on what they need and paying attention to that and communicate our vision in multiple ways really helps a lot to keep people informed of what our vision is. Jarvis, I noticed you may have come back. Are we able to continue? Okay, it seems Jarvis still having technical issues. So I may just think about things that are related to the vision that we are talking about. So an important, but also very vital aspect of a vision are times when things go wrong. How do we come back to really rectifying things that may have gone wrong? So there could be a scenario wherein a business is failing and maybe it's not profitable. So the question could be, what can one do in order to bring that profitability in short a business? In science, we also have this notion when things fail. The key is to try, first of all, to understand why it failed. Am I able to understand why the failure occurs? And the other question that is really important, if I understand why, am I able to do something about it? And then the next thing will be, what will it take to really do something about it? There are sometimes challenges that are solvable. There are sometimes challenges that may take a while. And there are times when nothing needs to be done, because doing anything could just create more confusion or create more problems. So identifying these key three elements is really important, because every situation might be unique, every situation might be different. So these are just general principles And you may want to look at the ones that really speaks more to you or more applicable in your situation. Now, how do I stay motivated? How do I stay inspired? How do I continue to do what I'm doing? The key really is the ability for us to be able to have that clarity in our own mind as to why do I do what I'm doing? Why do I have the energy to do and motivate myself on a daily basis? Do I have clarity in my vision? Are my core values being fulfilled when I, do what I am doing? That really begins with self-reflection. There is no one externally who can really do it for us. We may have to do it on our own. Not to be afraid to do self-reflection, to also remember that as you as an individual, you are highly, highly validated. There is so much value in you that is just unbelievable to really begin to recall. You have such a complex system that it's self-regulating, but the ability to be able to turn that system into machinery that really inspire one on a daily basis is really vital. But if we are not sure that we are actually validated, what we are going to be doing is looking for validation from people, looking for validation from co-workers, looking for validation from our community, looking for validation from people who likes what we do, or people who really give thumbs up to messages that we send. All of these are good validation. However, the key validation is the fact that you are alive as a human being. That is the most important validation, because an individual can become so inspired and they will build huge, huge and significant industry that really comes to benefit a lot of people. And we've seen people in our community, people around the world that have done tremendous good things for others. So it took just an individual with just inspiration that have that. So we can be that individual. We can become that individual that really, even though now we may be struggling in our business, but just staying focused. And remember, victory doesn't just happen overnight. Sometimes it takes hard work, continuous patience, and continuous devotion to that clear vision that really pays off with time. That overnight, success story that some people are fascinated about, it doesn't occur for everyone. And should I be angry because it doesn't happen for me? Absolutely no, because it took a while for those that really think it was an overnight success for them to get there. The question is, are we in the right place? Are we in the right scenario wherein those overnight success story can happen? Because if we are not there, then even if the opportunities are all around us, we may not be able to recognize it. The other aspect is the opportunities could be all around us, but we may not be paying close attention to it because we are not looking at the inspiration that is coming from the inside. We are looking at the inspiration that is coming from the outside, and that sometimes can be very troubling, because if you look at the probability that you and someone else in that live on the earth will be the same, it's very, very thin. Those people have different things that motivate them. Those people that have different struggles. Those people may have different trials. Those people may have different aspiration. They may have different resources. So I may not want to compare myself wholly with others as to what are the resources that they have that I don't have, or what are the resources I have that others do not have. But just to constantly focus on what do I have? What do I have right now? What are the things that I can do with what I have? What are the things that I cannot do with what I don't have? and accept that. Acceptance is really a key element of maintaining our vision. There are times that many people may not accept their situation, they may not accept where they are, and we could take it in a couple of ways. Acceptance can be, yes, I accept the situation that I have right now, but I'm going to change it, and I'm going to make it to become better, and I'm going to work very hard to change that. So that's one form of acceptance. There's another form of acceptance that may be destructive. An acceptance saying, no, I don't deserve this. I have to change it overnight and do things that are inappropriate just to change this situation. So those are things that may come out to be a negative for us, because if we are not staying focused and we get ourselves into trouble, then all of our vision just disappears in thin air. But the fact that we may be able to have that ability to really accept a situation, not that you are giving up on your dreams, not that you may not be able to change it, but you're just facing reality. If I want to have a new vehicle and I know I don't have the ability to purchase that, I should not go out of my way, do everything I can, even with things that are inappropriate, to try and get it, because I may get it and then lose everything in that pursuit. So acceptance of our situation, of who we are. Remember, as we indicated earlier, we are highly, highly validated as humans. If we look at all of the evidences, like, we are such a complex being that harnessing that complexity on a daily basis to achieve our goal is really the key, because there is no way we are born to fail. Failure comes in various forms, and failure also comes by the definition we use as failure. There are times when failure might be an opportunity for us to learn and for us to grow, rather than a destructive force. Failure can be an opportunity for us to recognize some of the things that we may want to put in place in order to identify all of the resources that we have around us. It could be also an opportunity for us to connect with others that otherwise we may not have thought about connecting with. We may, if we are satisfied that of what we are doing, we may not even want to seek help from others. So failure sometimes will force us to do that, force us to get out of our comfort zone and get to a situation wherein we are able to grow, we're able to be inspired, we're able to see things in a different manner. We are able to outpace our own limitations, because life sometimes keeps us in a circuitry that is perpetual, just going around from one aspect to the other, and we are not able to break that ceiling of victory, break that ceiling of success in our business. So it can be a perpetual thing that really creates so much stress and difficulty. So how to break that on a daily basis to ensure that our vision is maintained is really very, very important. I know some of our viewers may be interested in understanding strategies that we may have in order to maintain our vision on a daily basis. I want to just share three strategy that we may want to adapt in order for us to stay aligned with our vision, irrespective of the challenges that we may have around us. We want to ensure that we tie back our vision. Number one, we want to tie back our vision to our operations, things that we are doing. We want to tie back our vision to our decisions. We're making multiple decisions a day, or multiple decisions a month. we want to come back and revisit those decisions, because some of these decisions may have long-term consequences. There are some decisions that we may make that may have a such short-term impact, but some of the more destructive ones are the ones that have a long-term impact, because we as humans, we are limited as to what things we may know that may happen in the future. So we may put all of the statistics together, we may put all of the analysis together to do a projections. Projections, they are as good as the information we put into making that projections. And given our limitations of who we are as humans, most often those projections don't turn out to be true. So how could I focus on one projection that is correct, a projection that is predictable, a projection that is sustainable? Key element to that, we may have the key element in our own mind as to knowing the time when those projections are correct. If they are tied back to our vision, if they are tied back to our focus, we might be able to stay on course to achieve our goals. Incorporating our vision every time in what we do is really key. Another aspect in the scientific community, what we do on a daily basis is really to think about a lot of the abstract thing. We think about mechanisms of action. We think about formulations. We think about why things fail. In the abstract, we constantly think on various aspects of what we do. I think that is no different from someone doing a business. How much time do we spend in thinking about our business? How much time do we spend in focusing on coming up with ways that we can improve our businesses? The less time we spend in thinking about it, the less we may have the ability to fix problems when they arise, because we may not have clarity on what it may take in order to solve those problems. So self-reflection on our business, we are constantly thinking about ways we can improve, ways we can learn more about our business, and ways we can learn from others that are succeeding. It's really very, very important, because that provides direction, that provides focus in scenarios when things may not be going well. Really important. And the third aspect is the ability for us to measure how aligned are we with our vision. There are times when our vision may be going down the wrong path. For us to recognize that we may not be aligning with our business, not just because we are making profit today doesn't mean we are aligning with our business, because if we don't have the ability to align it for things that are sustainable, what may happen is we may succeed for a while, and with time lose a lot of the profit we may have obtained, because we are not aligning what we do on a daily basis with our vision. And there are some aspects of self-control as well. So someone may have a profit right now, and they may decide, well, rather than reinvesting the profit in my business, they may just decide to spend it and thinking that they are going to have more the next time. Well, business may fail, or some people may lose customer. And so what happens in those scenarios? If they were not saving, they were not keeping certain aspect of the profit, then they may not be able to reinvest it in the business. Also, when things are difficult, they may not be able to get over those stumbling blocks. So what advice that I could give in order to help entrepreneurs stay focused and align with their values? There are 4 things that really comes to mind as to what I can do in order to ensure that my vision remains focused, and my vision continues to be inspiring. Whatever business one is involved in, whether we're coaching or whether we are doing scientific pursuit, whether we are doing research, whether we are helping others, whatever it is so vital that we understand that landscape is really an aspect that I want to underscore very much, because there are many opportunities around in various businesses. There are many opportunities around in our community. There are many opportunities around in our places of work. So finding a way to understand and recognize those opportunities is really an aspect that could make a difference in our lives, because there are many opportunities that could be around us that we may not be recognizing. Just looking for only the high class opportunities sometimes may not be a good idea. Sometimes the little opportunities that we start with may turns out to be something that really creates bigger opportunities in the future. So starting small is really important rather than starting big, because we start big and then we fail. The failure can be really massive. But starting small on the daily basis, when we fail, then we are able to stand up again and move on and learn from that failure and learn from that fall. Understanding our ability to maintain what we have is really an aspect that we may have to develop. Maintenance is really important. Maintaining what we have and tied back to our vision is something that will help us a lot. We also want to seek, feedback. We want to take survey. So the people that we are providing services to, we want to really know how these services are impacting their lives. We want to have feedback from them. We want to have feedback from people that we are interacting. There are things that others may be seeing that we are not seeing. There are opportunities that may be around that we may not be seeing. So ensuring that we are able to obtain feedback and be in this position to adapt and incorporate those feedback is really very crucial. We also touch on one aspect, adaptability. Again, we cannot stay focused to our vision without having the ability to be adaptable, without having the ability to be flexible. If we are too rigid, then it makes it really difficult for us to pivot when there are opportunities that comes our way. We also want to ensure that we look for people around us that are constantly inspiring us, people that are motivating us, people that are dependable, people that can really help us provide feedback that are not just feedback that we want to hear, feedback that sometimes we don't want to hear about. We also may need to be flexible enough to hear feedbacks that may be critical, and it's okay. The key is not to allow that to derail us, not to allow that to get to us wherein we become demotivated, but just to reflect on it and say, yes, it's a learning opportunity. No matter what achievement I may have had, I see that I also have obtained absolutely very, very, very minimal. There is so vastness of knowledge that we are still not able to attain. So if I make a mistake, I should look at it from that perspective. I know extremely small things. I know extremely little. I have achieved extremely small. Not that I'm degrading myself, but it's that's just the reality, just the fact. Because there are so much things I could be able to achieve. There's so much knowledge out there that I can attain. There are so many books I can still write. There are so many people that I can still touch. So be inspired to do that, but also recognizing that Failure may not be something that is an enemy. It may be something that I may need to find a way to embrace and learn from it. So, what defines what? How do we define failure? That's the another aspect that really makes a vision critical. So, just because I do not succeed in what I'm doing today doesn't mean I failed. It's just that I've tried and have also learned what not to do the next day. That's it. The next thing will be look onto what I can do differently the next time. If I'm able to answer that question in my mind, then I have not failed. All I have done is learn things that I should have done differently and then move forward. So no matter how painful the failure may look like, if I tell myself it's not a failure, then that's what my brain and my mind develops. But the moment I begin to downgrade myself and say, yes, this is a failure, what the aspect of our minds bringing all of the evidence to show that is true really takes place all the time. So if I tell myself I'm not a failure, I have only learned from this scenario, and then I look for evidences to support that. I will find many, many evidences to support it. On the contrary, if I also tell myself this is a failure, my mind will look for all of the evidences to tell me, yes, that is true. So it just depends which direction I want to really take. So do I want to take the direction that doesn't inspire me? Do I want to take a direction that will not make me focus? Do I want to take a direction that really discourages me, that really doesn't allow me to really be energetic? Or do I want to go the opposite direction? Look at failure from the point of view that, yes, I'm just learning as a human being that have so much limitations, that may not have all of the resources that I need right now. But I can stay on it. I can stay on the course, and then I can just look for things around that inspire me. Again, in an instant, that discouragement can turn from discouragement to an encouragement. Again, it can happen in an instant. It may not need any external force to really bring about that change. It's just the mindset and our frame of mind that we have that may really change that in an instance. I know we may be running out of time, and I hope Jarvis is able to come in and close this live session. If not, I hope the viewers have been able to learn something today. If I may try to recap some of the things that we have learned today. So we started this journey and this discussion by looking at what elements a vision needs to have. You know, a lot of the time people define their vision, but they don't incorporate these elements. A vision must be able to give us a direction. Direction is really very crucial. Directions in life could be many. There are many things we might want to do. There are many things we will see others doing. There are things that will look enticing for us to do. So the question is, do we have clear direction as to where we are going? Key elements to that is the ability for us to be sincere with ourselves. We start with that self, reflection, right? That's self-clarity in our mind, really key. Because if we don't have it, then it's just like without the proper focus, without a proper vision, then we may not be seeing things clearly. So having a clear vision helps. Having that clear direction also is crucial. A vision must be inspiring. It must inspire me. It must inspire the people that I am, leading. It must inspire the people that I am doing business with. So when they hear and see and how you display the vision, how you communicate the vision, it must inspire. If it doesn't inspire, it's very, very difficult to motivate people, because people like to revolve around things that are inspiring, things that are really motivating, things that really can turn their difficult days and bring laughter to it and bring smile to their day and also to their business. So having that inspiration in our vision is really important. And a vision doesn't have to be something that we are really tight-lipped about, or something that we are so focused in it and we don't find time to smile about it or joke about it, or make fun about it. These are all key elements that really helps our well-being. These are elements that really help us to really motivate ourselves when sometimes discouragement comes in. So the third element of vision is the ability for us to have a clear focus. Clear focus to the point of we staying and doing the same thing on a day in, day out basis. We are doing the same thing day in and day out basis, even though we may not have external praises, even though we may not have external validation, even though we may not have external people that really encourage us. But if our vision is so clear, is so focused, we might continue and still succeed. If you speak to a lot of entrepreneurs that have succeeded today, they will tell you the same thing, because a lot of these innovative ideas, because it's in our minds, it may not be in the minds of others. So even when we try to explain, the vision that we have, not everyone will understand what we are really trying to achieve. Not everyone may understand what we are really trying to do. And the reason, because you might be looking at a situation of intelligence that is beyond the normal phase. So if that is the case, if you have been given something that is so out there, that is so outstanding, well, it may not be given to many people. And so they may not even understand what you are saying, or they may not even understand why you are being inspired by the vision that you have. And that is how people that really have break certain barriers in our life, in our modern society, they were also faced with similar challenges when they are coming up with these ideas. It's so innovative that they were far into the future. But today, some of these innovations have become a household name, household gadgets that we utilize. But in the days of inception, it was extremely foreign. So what the key is, what ideas, what motivations, what vision do you have right now that others may be laughing at, that others may not be inspired about, that others may not want to support you in those visions? There are some people that have had vision that did not have support from others. However, in time when they succeed, those people that really did not help them with their vision regretted that they did not help them. We also have talked about the fact that you as an individual, as a human being, as an entrepreneur, you are validated. The fact that you are alive today and you are given another 24 hours to live, see that as a huge, huge, significant opportunity. Let this day be a day that you look forward to every minute and every hour, and ask myself, what is my vision? What are the things that I'm going to spend these 24 hours that I've been given this privilege to experience? What are the things I'm going to do that really helps align with my vision? What are the things that I'm going to do today that really helps bring back my focus to who I am and who I am trying to be? That vision is really something that is in all of us. We are all born to succeed in one way or the other. How we define that success, how we define that failure, really could make the whole difference in our lives. So if we start small, start maybe just today and look at things that may not be going right, but also probably focus on things that are going right, no matter how small they are. We begin with that small victory. We take that small victory and in the next 24 hours and see what are things that are going right in our lives, things that we should be appreciative about, things that we can be inspired about. If we look around, we obviously see countless things that make us be inspired, that may also motivate us to do our business more effectively, that may also motivate us to really encourage our inner mind and encourage others around us. So adapting to our new environment, adapting to our new situations, adapting to our new difficulties um, may help us sustain the vision, may also help us stay focused in times of challenges, may also help us stay focused in situations where we may not understand all that is happening, we may not have all the answers, but may require us to stay focused in doing what we are doing. So I hope viewers, you've been able to gain some insight as to what a vision is and how we can maintain those vision in not only in our own lives, but in also in our business, in our in our community, and in all of the interactions that we have on a daily basis. So I thank you so much for the opportunity, Jarvis, that you have given me to really speak to your audience, and look forward to speaking with you some other time. Thank you.